ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ. ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮೈ ಭಾರತ್ನ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಭಾರತ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮೈ ಭಾರತ್ನ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮೈ ಭಾರತ್ನ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮೈ ಭಾರತ್ನ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವ sensitize the participants on 5 quotients: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual quotient. And through these, in the span of 19th and 20th year running, we have inspired 4 lakh students till date, more than 20,000 faculty members, parents, and many groups of society. The powerful point of our programs are it is activity-based programs which are liked by various sections of society. We are associated with more than 100 institutions in Bangalore and in many institutions in various parts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Telangana as well. Disha Bharat has been conducting My Bharat program, My Bharat Youth Campaign, on the occasion of Independence Day celebration. After the completion of 4 glorious years of My Bharat campaign, we are in the 5th wonderful year of My Bharat campaign. And today is one of the prominent activities under the campaign, and that is evening lecture series. These evening lecture series focuses on understanding the true history of Bharat, understanding the current scenario, and building the dreams for our future. And to start the program, we have a great speaker with us. People wait to listen to his speech, and today we are privileged to have him with us. He is none other than Dr. G.B. Harish. May I have the privilege of introducing Dr. G.B. Harish to all of you. Dr. G.B. Harish, born in 1975 in Hasana, is a distinguished Kannada scholar with an MA, MBA, and PhD. He has served in various prestigious roles, including Research Officer at Karnataka Knowledge Ayoga Kanaja and Assistant Professor at Tumkur University. He has also been Chief Deputy Editor of Prajavani and Editorial Consultant for Vijayvani. Recognized as the Young Inventor of the Century by Mythic Society and recipient of Badarayana Vyasaman Award in 2018, Dr. Harish has made significant contributions to Kannada literature and culture. His notable works include Tantra Shastra, Pravesh, and Swami Vivekananda. We are really privileged to listen to him. Today, the topic that he would be addressing us on is Fighting for Freedom, Early Battles, Enduring Legacy. Dr. Harish, we are eagerly waiting to listen to you. Over to you, sir, for your speech. Thank you so much.
Namaste, one and all. Namaste, and a very good morning to all the Karyakartas and the office bearers of the Disha Bharat. Disha Bharat is doing a wonderful work by spreading Indian education, Indian knowledge, and also doing a lot of seva activities related to Bharata. And on this occasion of India's Independence Day, they have organized a lecture series. So in that, I'm honored to give the first lecture today. Today they have asked me to talk about the freedom struggle which happened before the onslaught or the fight with the British. Therefore, we can divide India's freedom struggle into three phases. One is from the days of Alexander's so-called invasion or coming to India, to Bharata, and till that day to the invasion of the Arabs or intrusion of the Arabs. From Arabs to the Battle of Plassey, 1757. And third one is 1757 to 1947. So first part and third part I'm not going to focus. As discussed earlier, I will be focusing mainly on the Indian Hindus' resistance against the Islamic invaders, mainly. But before we take that, we should understand that Bharata is such a country, nation, and also a culture, and also a civilization. Please mark my words, I have used four concepts. Bharata is a country. Country means Desha, which is having a land, fixed boundary, geography, that is Desha. Second one, a nation, means which is having its own characteristics, which is carved out due to the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, Shaiva, Bauddha, Jaina, Vaishnava, way of thinking, and art, architecture, everything. So therefore, this is the crux of the Bharata as a nation. In English, we can call it as a Rashtra, or in Sanskrita, we can call it as a Rashtra, which has its own distinct characteristics. This is about Bharata. And it is a Samskriti. That means it has churned out something, which has internalized something, which has contemplated and reflected, and it has given a shape to certain values. What are they? Which are they? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So these are the three or the four parts based on which this Hindu culture has survived, stood, and flourished, and given message to the entire of the world. And last one is the civilization. We have a civilizational value, means the culture when it is continued across the millennium, 1000 years, 2000, 3000 years, that can be called as a civilization. That means Bharata is a civilization, Bharata is a culture, Bharata is a Rashtra, and Bharata is a Desha. So this kind of a combination of all the four factors is hardly can be compared with any other geographies of the past or of the present. So this is the beauty of our heritage, of our sampradaya. Coming back to the freedom struggle, once a nation is born, always it has to protect its boundaries, its culture, values, and normally thieves, plunderers, people who will come to loot the country, both at the psychological level and the physical level, will always be there, which is very well explained in the Puranas and the different Upanishads or the Vedic stories. They are called the Asuras, the Rakshasas. Such factor also occurred in India when one such Asura Rakshasa came in the form of Alexander, and he was successfully thrown back outside the boundaries of river Sindhu or the Indus by Pururava, by the Yaudheyas of Punjab, and of course by other great warriors. Therefore, it is wrong to say Alexander as the Great because he never came till Delhi or Indraprastha or to Mathura. He was sent out. Similarly, later to Alexander's times, many other Greeks, they came wave after wave. One such was the Menander, who is called as the Milinda in the Buddhist literature. Milinda was also bravely fought, and he was sent out of the main land of Bharata by Pushyamitra Shunga. All these things are very beautiful, and they are never taught in our school textbooks because school textbooks are prepared by Marxist, Macaulays, and people who follow the Semitic creed like Islam or Christianity. Therefore, it is our fate. It is our wrong fate or ill fate that even after having political independence, we have not got complete cultural Swarajya, cultural independence. I think institutions like Disha Bharat, they are also acting like a positive catalyst in bringing Swarajya into this nation, our own nation, Bharata. So after the Greeks came the Huns, the Shakas. They were also checked out after Pushyamitra Shunga, by Vikramaditya, who is also known as Chandragupta II of the Guptas, and many other great warriors. This saga continued, and now coming to my point, or the talk for the day, is that normally when we talk about the freedom struggle, the historians, they say a limited thing. They say half truth, that India got independence from the British, which is true. But it will also lead to a wrong conclusion that India was not under any kind of threat or attack prior to the British period. Prior to the British period, there were Marathas, mainly Marathas, who came up to Delhi during the time of Bajirao first and Nana Fadnavis. But before that struggle happened, many of the Islamic tribes coming from the Arabia, they tried to annex the country, they tried to plunder the temples, they tried to win over the forts and kill our prince and princesses, kings and queens. They tried to attack on the women, children, and the knowledge system of Bharata. That story is kept under the carpet by all the secularist narrations, either through media, ancient media, is not old, it's ancient like television and all that, and through modern media like all over Facebook or X, Twitter, and Instagram and whatnot. And many of the media houses, they are pumping money sitting in Europe and America to write a wrong history of Bharata, which could be fed to the children of Bharata, so who are going to be the future day administrators, officers, and engineers, doctors, and etc. Therefore, it becomes our foremost national duty on this occasion of August to tell the true history of India, Bharata, to the audience who are enjoying this program. Basically, from the day Islam has begun in the Arabia area by Prophet Muhammad and his followers, after a few years, maybe 10, 15, 20 years, Islam started to try and come to Bharata and to capture this land. But the very brave Gurjaras, that is the people who were in Gujarat, Gurjara Desha, they were mostly from Karnataka, either from the Chalukyan or from the Rashtrakuta background. They were there having their own branch of their dynasty there. Originally, it is from Karnataka, but it was there in that area of Gurjara. They stopped the maritime attack, a naval attack from the Arabs. And later, many kings and queens, they did the same thing actually. This is not noticed in many occasions. Most importantly, when Bharata was glorious, it was very good in science, technology, Ayurveda, astronomy, astrophysics, agricultural sciences, Vedas, linguistics, grammar, so whatnot. In art, architecture, different types of dance, drama, music, theater, it was a golden period. The 2000 years of India, Bharata was enjoying the golden period. Then it was attacked and challenged by the Islamic invaders. So they came in many numbers, maybe the Arabs, maybe the Mamluks, the Khaljis, the Tughlaqs, the Bahmanis, the Sharqis, the Sayyidis, the Lodhis, and finally the Mughals, followed by Muhammad Iqbal and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and supported by Gandhiji and Nehru. So this is the tradition which came to attack the core ethics of Bharata. So it is very painful story, yet it should be told to our people, our youngsters, our today's generation, because unless you know the truth, we cannot do the next activities, which is at the intellectual level or at the level of social activities. Therefore, we should know the things as they have occurred. All these dynasties are sets of people. They came in hundreds, they came in thousands, sometimes as foot soldiers, sometimes using the sitting on the back of the horses and camels. They came here, and from the date of from 9th century up to the 400 years, that means up to 1100 roughly, that period, the brave people from Rajasthan, the Jats from Haryana, not the Punjabis not in the sense of the Sikh people, because Sikhism was not there at that time, but the people, the Hindus of Punjab, of the Veda Bhumi, the land of Vedas, they successfully encountered these foreign invasions. They gave a death blow to them. Therefore, it was not possible for the Islamic invaders to come and occupy Delhi for first 400 years, or at least 350 years. This is very well recorded in the book, The Story of Islamic Imperialism in India by Sitaram Olin. Such books are not to be seen in our NCERT or other kinds of curriculum. So what they did was 2-3 things. One, they developed a supreme military power, the Hindus, the Indians, Bharatiyas, and they encountered the enemies who are coming, passing the Khyber Pass and the Hindu Kush mountains. That is roughly today's Afghanistan area. And at that time, please remember, Afghanistan was part and parcel of Akhanda Bharata. United India was having its final border up to Iran. So our border starts from there. Till that time, to 1833 or 35, Afghanistan was an integral part of Bharata. This story is also kept under the carpet in our modern day narrations of history, either in English language or in other languages. Therefore, it is very important to know the geography of Bharata before we talk about the history of Bharata. Because people who are not aware about their geography, they cannot be entitled to or qualified to talk about history. This is my basic proposition always. Therefore, when Islam came, they did not come to Punjab directly. They came to the borders of Iran, Iraq. From there only, Hindus successfully, they encountered the people, encountered the enemies. This is one point. And second one, from our side, after the Mauryas, the Shungas and the Guptas, the Cholas, the Mokharis, the Pandyas, the Palas, the Rashtrakutas, the Yadavas, the Kakatiyas, the Hoysalas, the Sangamas, Saluvas, Tuluvas, Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, and every nook and corner, including the home in Assam. These were the warrior groups, people from different areas, regions of one united Bharata, who gave a right answer through the sword, through the gun, through the camels, through the horses, through the warfare techniques, through the diplomacy knowledge, which is given by Kautilya and others, to the invaders. Therefore, it will be wrong to assume and to say in our history narrations that log aate gaye or Hindustan banta gaya. Very wrong to say that people just came, it was a cakewalk, and suddenly Babur, he created a Mughal empire in Delhi. No, it is wrong actually. Every inch of the soil of Bharata gave a very stubborn fight, because basically the spirit of Bharata is invincible. Ajeya. Nobody can dare to conquer it, because it is not possible, because we are a tradition who are living minimum 10,000 years. We have seen the birth and death of Greek culture. We have seen the birth and death of Roman, Asiatic, Incas, Mayas, and whatnot. We have seen many empires which are emerging and which are going into the dust. Therefore, we have that cultural and civilizational wisdom to withstand the onslaught. Therefore, it is very wrong to write the books or the videos or the other kinds of narration saying that the Islamic army was barbarous. No doubt they were barbarous, but it is wrong to say that they were brave. They were not brave. Hindus were brave and Islamic invaders were barbarous. And they followed a certain kind of belief systems. Though those belief systems were based on the book, the holy book Quran. Therefore, they will follow that holy book, and whoever is accepting the tenets of that philosophy, or the, I cannot call it a philosophy, those belief systems were considered as loyal. Rest were to face death or to get converted into their fold. But Hindus successfully and till the last drop of their blood and spirit, they fought this. Not only the men, even the women, even the lads, young lads, like the sons, two sons of Guru Govinda Singha, like Zorawar Singh and Fateh Singh. Therefore, it will be wrong to say that Islam came and had a very great war on India. It had a very tactful war, and Hindus, due to their warfare techniques, they were able to hold back maximum territories in India. Why I am telling this? Normally, when we say in our textbooks that the Mughal emperors from Babur, his son Humayun, his son Akbar, his son Jahangir, then his son Shah Jahan, and finally Aurangzeb. These six people, roughly they ruled to 200 to 250 years, taking Delhi and one more place as their capital city. It was not true that they were successful in ruling the country, which I am going to show in the next few minutes, how the Khaljis, the Mamluks, the Ghaznavis, the Ghoris, and finally the Mughal emperors, they were checked. They were challenged by every ruler, maybe a king or a queen or the normal people, ordinary people in every part of the country. For example, due to the Vijayanagara, the Islamic army could not conquer entire of South India in any of its time period, in any time period in the last 1,000 years. Babur or Akbar or Aurangzeb, they were not successful to come to Karnataka or to Mysore or to Bangalore or to Tamil Nadu. They went up to some places, but it was only a short-lived span. After that, again, some Nayakas, some rulers from the local dynasties, they stood up and they fought back. So this story is not told properly. Therefore, Indian history is not a history of successive invaders. It is no doubt a history of successive invaders who were successfully driven back, given answer by the Hindu soldiers and kings and queens. So this is supported by data. This is not an emotional statement. What was not palatable to the Hindu mind, Hindu warrior mind at that time, was the war strategies. Because according to Ramayana, Mahabharata and all, we believed in Dharma Yuddha, that it should be a righteous way. As you are leading your normal life as a businessman or a farmer or as a pandit or as a scientist, as a soldier, in a righteous way, in a dharmic way, similarly, the war, the Yuddha, should be fought in a righteous way. That means what? Morning you should have all your rituals, all your worshipping God and all, having your lunch or breakfast. Then you come to work. It's like going to office. Evening time, close. Like business hours, after the business hours, there won't be any business. The colleges, schools, everything, they will close after 5:30, 6 o'clock. Similarly, they used to shut down the war department. And people will again, they will do their own meditation or prayer or whatever, cooking, everything. And again, they will wage the war on the next day. This was the practice which was practiced in Bharata throughout the history, throughout its Puranas and Itihasas. But the Islamic army, they were not following the Hindu code of ethics. But our soldiers and kings, they were failed to understand this. Therefore, they were treating the Islamic army, who are not at all Hindus, by their look, color, or feel, or by their philosophy, outlook of life. But our people took them on the wrong side. They understood that they are also like dharmic like us. They are also having their own faith, their own prayer system. But we were fooled. Therefore, they started to attack during the night time also. Second time, there is no question of abduction of women, rapes, or killing, or destruction of the faith of worshipping place. But that was also successfully carried out during the Islamic invasions. Therefore, Islamic invasion is not only military invasion, it is a breach of the dharmic concept of war, point number one. It is a breach of the ethics because they were harming the children and the women. Third one, they were attacking and destroying the knowledge centers and sources of knowledge like books or the palm leaves. This is the third one. Fourth one, they were killing the Brahmins or the scientists or the knowledgeable people because they are the source of information and insight and wisdom for the entire Hindu masses. So this was the warfare conducted because based on the Quranic concept. It is called the jihad. This concept of jihad was not known to us. Therefore, we were fighting it on like a straight battle. But later, kings like Shivaji or the later Durgavati or Guru Govinda Simha, Ranjit Singh, they learned this. So successfully, they started giving the answer, even the last leg of the Maratha kings or the Peshwas. So this should be understood in this manner. But when all these things have happened and the Islamic empire was challenged and Marathas were there and British, they took the empire, Indian empire, not from the Mughals, they took the Indian empire into their hands from the Marathas. Please note this point. Therefore, Hindus were there, they were fighting the Islam. And again, British came, they were fighting with the Hindus, that is the Marathas. And after the war with the Marathas, when the Maratha army became weak, the empire was shifted from Marathas to the British. Therefore, it is very right to say in that 1947, the independence should be given back to the Hindus, not to the Islamic people. Therefore, Jinnah knew it. He wanted to have a separate state for the Muslims because whatever they have done in India, that cannot be continued when India becomes a Hindu-ruled state. Or politics will be based on Hinduism or Hindu ethos, Hindu ethics. So this is the philosophical background with which we should enter into the area of history. One, Indians gave a very brave fight the last 1,100 years. First, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Ahom, that is in Assam. Point number one. No, not even a single inch or a mile of land was given easily to the Islamic army. Second one. Third one, we were following the dharmic pattern of war. Therefore, we were shocked to see the adharmic way of war by the Islamic people because that concept of dharma, it doesn't exist in them. Third one, this is the third one. And fourth one is the most important thing is that when Bharata became independent, our textbooks were written by the education ministers who were all Muslims, including Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and who in turn guided our textbook writers to write a kind of a secular history of Bharata. That means it is a cross culture, or it is like a syncretic culture, or it is an amalgamation of the Islamic culture and Hindu culture, Hindu architecture, Islamic architecture. Hindu kind of bhakti system and Islamic kind of bhakti system, namely Sufism. These kinds of the things were clubbed together and in the name of national integration. In the year, I think 1985-86, National Integration Council came into existence and they made it a mandatory that in textbooks, always if a character is taken, one Hindu boy's name, one Muslim girl or one Christian boy or girl's name should be there in the narration done in the textbooks. Therefore, half-baked truths, that means lie, 100% lie, was thrown upon the society through textbooks. So teachers, however patriots, they were compelled to teach the same things. Therefore, we got a brand of half Hindus, or Hindus by birth and secularists by psychology, or Islamists or humanist, liberals by psychology. That is the thing what we are enjoying now in our Delhi University, Jadavpur University, Jawaharlal Nehru University. These are the Indians who are questioning the very roots of Indian history itself. Why it happened? One, Islamic people were true to the nature of the Quran. They were very faithful. from Aurangzeb to Tippu, from Babar to Tippu, everyone they were faithful. But it is our mistake as the historians, educators, not to show them in the proper light. We hid the people who were there in the education councils, they hid the true history. Therefore, we are suffering with a wrong narration of history. What is that? That Islam never accepted anything which is non-Islamic. For example, worshipping of gods in the form of icons or idols, vigrahas, they didn't accept. They didn't consider women as a symbol of God, goddess. Therefore, Durga, Saraswati, Kali, it is not palatable. Third one, they didn't care for the Janapada, which we call as folklore, Loka Sahitya in Hindi. They didn't care for the 6 lakhs plus village gods and goddesses, which every Hindu, either in the village or in the city or in the forest areas or the hilly regions they were worshipping, all were tried to be humiliated and mutilated. This is their attitude. Therefore, it is one of the most inhuman kind of an interaction, what they did with the Indian history. In turn, Hindus, as much as possible, they try to accommodate the invaders because it is a part and parcel of our culture. But at that time, what is the intellectual battle we didn't take up till Swami Dayananda Saraswati came, because it comes in the same time framework in which I am speaking. So that is from the Islamic invasion up to the British. That Shankaracharya came, Ramanujacharya, Kabir, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many great scholars, even from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Baswanda, Akamahadev, everybody came. But they were all discussing philosophy, darshanas in the ambit of Vedas, Puranas, Agama literature, etc. But they never tried or got a hint that we should also encounter the Quranic concept of God. The Quranic belief systems, we have to take them point by point, step by step, we have to give answer to it. Philosophically, I'm telling, intellectual answers. How there is a debate between Dvaitis and Advaitis, Vaishnavas and Shaivas. Similarly, our great philosophers never engaged in philosophical discussions or writing their treatises on the concept of Quran and Hadith. Similar thing applies to the Catholic and the Protestant belief systems which are codified in Bible. There are 4 versions of modern Bible, New Bible. But it is because of one Kshatriya, one intellectual warrior, that is Swami Dayananda Saraswati, that we really started pondering on the concept of Swarajya, and Swatantra and Swadeshi. Swarajya is self-rule, Swatantra is freedom, and Swadeshi is using our own goods and services and having that indigenous viewpoint, our own viewpoint. This is the thing they started very successfully. Dayananda Saraswati encountered the biblical concept, the Quranic concept in his classical work called Satyartha Prakasha. So people who will be watching this program, I request them sincerely on this occasion of Independence Day or the month of independence, that you please go through Satyartha Prakasha. Have a copy of Satyartha Prakasha either in Hindi or English or in your other Bharatiya language. I won't call it regional, all our Indian languages, Bharatiya languages. That is very important, because from that we will come to know how much hoax is this concept called national integration, that is Hindu-Muslim unity, Hindu-Christian unity in the name of secularism. If there's a real unity happening, that people in this country, they are accepting our own culture, yathos, festivals, feasts, no problem. But it is just imposed from outside. Second one, all our great leaders and warriors in this time, they were not only engaging in wars with all these Turks or the Ghaznavis or Ghoris and all. Whenever these temples were raised down, like Muhammad Ghori, he raised the temple of Somnatha many times, but it was resurrected. That story is not told actually. So people came from outside, he invaded it 17 times and we were all cowards, we didn't do anything. No. First, the Pandits and the local people there, they resisted a lot. They gave their life for the cause of the temple in Somnath, for Shiva temple. Same applies to Kashi, same applies to Ayodhya. That means not only the kings and the Kshatriyas, even the farmers, the common people, the women, and even the young men and women, they were all fighting against the invaders. Therefore, it is a Janandolana, it's a people's war. People's war is not the sole property of the communists and the Naxalites. The Hindu people have conducted a people's war against the Islamic onslaught. There is a record for it. You can go through this book by Sitaram Goel. What happened to Hindu temples? What happened to them? 2 volumes are there. It gives inch by inch detail of what happened during the Mughal period to our temples and how Hindus they resisted. And people like kings or queens like Ahalyabai Holkar, Chhatrapati Shivaji, or Krishnadevaraya, later days Ranjit Simha, and many of our kings in southern part of India, including the Cholas and later the kings in Tanjavur, they rebuilt the temples. Whatever was invaded and destroyed, in the same place, one more Shivalinga, one more Vishnu Murti was reconstructed. Though not the same Vigraha, the new one was there. That means the Shraddha, the faith of the common people was kept intact. This is the great service our rulers, our Hindu people have done to the Hindu society. For example, this year we are celebrating a great occasion of Ahalyabai Holkar. She herself has constructed 3,000 or reconstructed or constructed 3,500 temples. According to some Maharashtrian historians, 5,000 temples. If we take still 3,500 also, it's a very big number. She again rejuvenated all the 12 Dwadasha Jyotirlingas, all the 12 holy places of Shiva, including Kanyakumari, Karnataka Sudupi, then Kashi, Somanatha, many other places, the Hindu temples, either Shaiva or Vaishnava, whatever systems they were all given donations. Again, the Vedic learning or the Shastric learning was re-established. In this way, there was, what is the big picture before we come to the last part, is that one is that whatever is the onslaught happening, that was given answer through sword. And our Shastras, our sciences, our arts, they were all trying to be destroyed by these foreign forces. Again, that was rejuvenated by Vijayanagara, by the Cholas, and by the Marathas, and by the kings in Bhopal or in the other parts of Bharata. That was the second. Third one, Indian philosophy was kept intact. Indian Carnatic music or Hindustani music or other different folk forms, they were all kept alive in this exactly in the same period, 1,000 years. Most importantly, the period which is called as the shrinking Hinduism's period by the secularist historians sitting in Delhi, they are writing textbooks and other things they are writing. But in the same period, the Cholas went outside Bharata. The Chalukyas they went outside Bharata. They became the naval power, oceanic powers. At the same time, come to Indonesia. The Mazapatis, they built a very big Hindu empire. The Champa, the Cham in Vietnam, I was serving there as the cultural ambassador. They built a big Cham empire, Champa empire. And you come to the Cambodia, very big Hindu temples, hundreds and hundreds of huge Hindu structures were built during the same period, which is considered as a downfalling stage of Hinduism. Therefore, we have to revisit our history from the point of local history. What are our folk kings, folk heroes, heroines they did? Janapada Nayakas and Nayikas they did for our culture to protect it. It can be one Vanake Obava in Chittadurga. It can be one Rani Channabhaira Devi or Rani Abbaka in our coastal Karnataka. That is the one thing. Second one, and Durgavati in Madhya Pradesh. Second one, at the national level, Hindu kings, they may be having some small quarrels, but our historians, they have exaggerated it. Always Marathas and Rajputs, they were not coming together, which is only half truth actually. There was a kind of amalgamation between the association between the different Hindu rulers. This should be studied afresh. In the basic documents, inscriptions, coins, literary evidences, we have to revisit it. That itself is a huge work, which one institution or some bunch of scholars should take it with an open mind. Lastly, at the international level, how Hindu culture was expanded, even though in spite of the Islamic invasion happening here, that is the thing. And when, last point, when Chandragupta Maurya, the Chandragupta Maurya of the Gupta dynasty, who is called the Vikramaditya, he built a very big empire actually, right? But that map, the cartography of that Hindu kingdom is not shown, only the medium-sized empire built by Akbar or this Aurangzeb, it is highlighted more than what is required. Then Indians are getting an idea that India was completely under the subjugation of the Islamic army. This is not correct. India's history is not essentially the history of Delhi. India's history is also the history of Bhopal, also the history of Karnataka, also the history of Tamil Nadu, of Gujarat, of Assam, of Kashmir. That is the thing. So this should be told in a different light. For that, we have ample of inscriptional evidences, ample of numismatic, that is coins, evidences, ample of literary evidences, and ample of Jivani, what we call the life histories or the biographies of Chhatrapati Shivaji, Rana Pratap Simha, Prithviraj Chauhan, or Krishnadevaraya's diaries available. Such materials are available in large quantities. Only what we need is a spectacle. What is that spectacle? Hindu nationalist Indian spectacle. We should wear our spectacle and see the world through our viewpoint, our drushti, our drukpatha. We have to see the entire history of the human race, entire history of the global world, global history, history of Bharata, and history of our own state, Karnataka, from the perspective of our ownness, from the point of Swadeshi, from the point of Swa, self, from the point of our own viewpoint. If we try to analyze, things become very clear. Therefore, for that, people like Sitaram Goyal, Jadunath Sarkar, Ram Saho, Varun Shauri, now today's times, Meenakshi Jain, they're all doing wonderful work. Our own N.S. Rajaram from Karnataka, they have done wonderful work. Our youngsters, they should collect that material and they have to sit for tapas like our ancient rishis, and they have to write the true history of Bharata, which will become a kind of an inspirational mantle, inspirational diya, like the lamp for the coming days to read history with our own eyes, with our own lamps. With these words, I close my talk. I told the organizers that this is the first talk. Hope it will be useful, and the successive speakers will cover the rest of the topics, whatever is given. I am trying to give only a philosophical outline to understand Indian history, because material is so huge. I cannot mention each kings and queens. That takes one month program. I have to do, like in temples, they do the Harikatha. So since I am Hari, I have to do the Harikatha. I cannot do that, right? Therefore, please forgive me that I have not touched upon each and every dynasty, but I have given a broad picture that Hindus means we are winners. Indians means we know how to win only. Successive battles have shown that we might have lost the battles, but you have won the war. There's always a big difference. Without us, British could not have won First World War and Second. So our military history, our bravery history, history of valor should be written by us, not by others. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Harissa. Your voice, your diction, the way you presented the topic, everything kept us so indulged into the topic that we forgot that there was a world outside. We went through the history of our country and we felt proud that we belong to such a wonderful country. Thank you so much for making us feel proud again and again with your words. And your words have always inspired us, and I'm sure it will keep inspiring us every moment that we hear it from you. Sir,
Sure.
I would like to seek permission from you to take questions that our audience have sent it to us. So here are a few questions. Audience are very excited. They have poured in a lot of questions. So these are a few in front of you. Yes. Though our historic events show the glories of Bharatiya Kshatriya Parampara, there were many traitors inside our nation itself, which resulted in the downfall of the kingdom. What can we learn from them and how to fight against these elements in the present context?
So that is very true also. Like Bipin Rawat was telling that 2.5, that means we have problem with China, problem from China, we have problem from Pakistan, that anyway army will take care. But the 0.5, which are the people sitting inside the borders of Bharata, but they're acting against the aspirations of our constitution, against the aspirations of our culture. So such things are very difficult to manage. Only there we have to take the strategy of Krishna. That Krishna was not giving any chance for Kamsa to survive. Right? Kamsa was his uncle. Therefore, we should cut them into pieces. So that is the lesson. If you just take them, okay, they are also Hindus, though they are Hindus by name. They are Hindus by wearing tilak or vibhuti or whatever, they may be having Mangal Sutra to show that they are Hindus, but inside out they are the communists. Or inside out they are the Marxists, or inside out they are against the culture of this country. Culture of this country, they should be treated according to Chanakya's words, like how you treat an enemy. They are the enemies, or they are the allies of the enemies. So they are like the what you call as the sleeper cells. So those kinds of people, they existed in the previous times, but since our Rajas and Ranis, kings and queens, we were following the Dharma Shastras, they were not looking into, they were only following Dharma Shastras, I think so, but they were not getting enough inspiration from the lives of Krishna, from the lives of Chanakya. What Krishna says, Mayavi Mayaya Vadhya. If he is a cunning fellow, you have to follow that Kutila Patha. That means you have to also take that path of trick, and you have to counterbalance them, or you have to eliminate them. This was done by Krishna in his entire life. We have to learn so many things from the life of Krishna. That we have to do. But for that, we need not have to go in the front and wage a war. We have to cut them short wherever is possible, wherever it is possible actually. So that was not done in the, for example, just to make the things easy, when our teachers of Disha Bharata, or some people who are listening to this one talk, if they are teaching about the Rajputs, they can make two lists: Rajputs who are patriots, Rajput kings who are patriots, Rajputs who are traitors, Marathas who are patriots, who are traitors, Kannadiga people who are patriots, Kannadiga kings and queens who are mingled with the British. Right? If that is given as a proper picture, we will not go and dive into history without any proper background. Right? We will not go like a dull-headed. We will go with a straight battle. We will know, oh, these are the people whom we can trust and get inspired. These are the people we have to study them, to not to follow them. Understand them, but don't follow them. Study about Ravana, but don't follow Ravana. That kind of a Rama Ravana concept, or Krishna Jarasandhar, Krishna Kamsa concept, should be very clearly taught in black and white to our people. Whether people are Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Jain, Lingayat, Brahmin, or Vakaliga, or Veerashaiva, it doesn't matter whether they're patriots or not, whether they follow the ethos of Bharata or not. So if they are not following, keep them aside, don't interact with them, and you better treat them as you are treating any foreigner.
Mute ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್?
Sorry for that. Of course, there are so many gems, so many answers hidden in our own cultural scriptures that for
Yes.
every question, probably we will get it if we really dig deeper into our culture. So there is one more question a volunteer has asked. Despite even in your speech, you were telling how every kingdom, every part, they all fought against the people who tried to invade us. So, despite having the skilled and dedicated army in all our kingdoms, what could be the reason that our nation getting ruled so many times by others?
Yeah, this is true and this is not true, this question, because if you take a partial picture, as I told, if you only take the example of Mughal Empire, what is Mughal Empire? Today is half of Punjab, and today's Haryana, so a little bit of Haryana, little bit of Rajasthan, little bit of Madhya Pradesh, and half of Uttar Pradesh. This is what is the, and some maybe up to Aurangabad. Some, not every in all the periods of Indian history. So the Islamic army never came down the Krishna River, Tungabhadra River, right? So that should be highlighted. And second one, why we were so is that I can give one right now. A modern answer is that, like modern day nationalists, they say we were not united and all that. Second one, it is the Kala Gati. If you think like a philosopher, it happens. No, every family will have its own glorious period and its dull period. Every person's life in 100 years or 80 years will have some peaks and some downfalls. It happens in that also. In that sense, we have to take it as the upward curve and downward curve of the Kala Devata, of the goddess of Kala, is Yamadharma or Dharma Devata. It happens. Only what we can learn that even when in the times of difficulty, were we following the path of Dharma or not? Like Pandavas, even though they were in the forest area, but they never deviated from the path of Dharma. Right? They were feeding the poor, they were feeding the Brahmins, they were encouraging the Shastras, they were not, they kept themselves away from telling lies, not compromising on the values. No, such things are difficult to achieve. Therefore, our epics will come as a very handy tool for us to get inspired. So to answer that, it is in the prakriti of the human beings. Not the Hindus or the Muslims or Christians. Whenever people are in power, our own people, they will do all these nonsensical things. It happens. It is a part of the human nature. Therefore, in Yoga Shastra, we say Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. No, all people in the world, you cannot imagine like to be Sattvic people, right? There are people who are Rajasikas, people who are Tamasikas, Hindu kings during the Marathas or the Sikhs or even in Karnataka. They were also like that. Therefore, it is a part and parcel of our consciousness. Our chitta is like that. We cannot, but when you have a Rishi, when you have a sage or a saint or a sadhu or a sadhvi guiding the society, then even that much of adharmic activities can be reduced. However, it cannot be nullified. So that can be the answer. But how much of the percentage of the society was trending more toward dharma? That is more important. Now, in that sense, common people, they were more dharmic. Maybe the kings and queens, they might have went astray.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. So there is one more question. One volunteer has asked, if in our field of work, we often see youngsters barely interested in Bharat's history. What are the few steps that you feel we should take to make the youth find the history interesting? And how to make youth and public at large appreciate and know the facts of the real history?
So very simple. It is, as you all know, you're all educators. It is from known to unknown. What they know Facebook, they know Twitter, they know X, they know Instagram, they know Reels. No, you start from there. You start uploading 1 minute video, 30 seconds video, not like 1 hour lecture. No, the same lecture can be cut into small things and you post it. Therefore, people will come to know. And come to the point straight. Don't beat around the bush. If you want to tell something, just tell from the first sentence itself. Therefore, they will be attracted. Third one, be logical. Don't go emotional. Give a logical answer to the questions and keep the things based on facts. Therefore, the youngsters or the students will appreciate. Lastly, my suggestion is that talk in their language. The kind of language they're using in their colleges, school corridors. No, try to use that language, not like a professor, not like an 80-year or 60-year-old person. Then that won't work actually. Right? You're not telling to make it popular is not a sin. To make knowledge popular is not a sin actually, right? But it should be truthful to knowledge. It should be truthfulness. It should be there. But definitely it can be used. You can use the idioms of the current. Are we done, or we'll have one more question?
If you give me permission, it's the last question, though there are
one question
flowing. Where does Bharat stand now in terms of retaining its civilizational heritage? What steps can be taken to revive Samskriti and make it alive in the way every household strongly follows the culture, is what one of our viewer had asked it.
Yeah, it's very sad to say that now, even though we may feel so many bubbling things, interesting things happening in the field of culture, art, everything, not enough importance is given and in a pinpointed way, in a particular way, to highlight our kshatra. That means our valor, our bravery. More importance is given to Bharatanatyam or to Kuchipudi, Kathakali. That you should give. Always you should be given to fine arts. I am fine with fine arts. But what is not happening is that along with that, how these fine arts were protected. To protect that, you need a force. You need a voluntary or involuntary force of brave people, right? How these people have done. For example, in Kannada or in other languages, we don't have a very big show on Shivaji or on Krishnadevaraya, and thanks to Rajkumar or others, they have done one movie, that's it. Right? Earlier, Veerapandya Kattabomman or some movies came in Tamil language. But not such things are repeating more. Recently, one movie is there on Alluri Sitaram Raju, RRR or something, but only few are there. Therefore, more and more such things should be highlighted. That means how people, they protected the parampara, the tradition with great difficulty. What is painful? For example, why our youngsters, they like one English movie, one Hollywood movie, no? Because how the hero or heroine, they struggle in a forest, in the rain or under a tunnel, all those things are shown inch by inch. How the pilot evacuates somebody in the flight. No, that 1 hour, 2 hours, they are all engrossed in that story. Many movies will be coming to your memories when I am talking this. Such in detail descriptions should be given in the visual media. Then only our people, our students, our youngsters will get attracted. The Battle of Shivaji is no less a battle, right? Or the Halyabai Holkar constructing 3,500 temples. If you convert that as a storyboard and make it a beautiful film, not 3 hours, 1 hour movie, 55 minutes movie, 45 minutes movie, definitely millions and millions will watch. Like recently Savarkar movie came. Earlier, people were leftists were telling it's a box office failure, but later it picked up actually, right? Thanks to Randeep Hooda and others. So therefore, such things, if they are coming in the new media and through new mediums, so then definitely this culture will be kept alive. That will happen actually, because there will be, as I told, there will be ups and downs. And one more thing is there, before I close, I will tell, as we will be becoming old, we will think that culture is becoming very pale. It's not correct view actually. Since I am becoming old, I will be thinking like that. But always there is a younger generation with one Shivaji, one Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, or one Dayananda Saraswati, who are taking the mantle of this saffron flag to the next level. Therefore, we should keep that point in mind. So I am really thankful for Disha Bharat, because I'm not a very what you can say, I'm not a very good speaker in terms of speaking, because English is nobody's mother tongue, right? But still, I try to make up as much as I can speak.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Your abundance in knowledge has really inspired us to go deeper into our history again, read the right kind of books, and understand the glories of Bharat. As it is said in Kannada, Sumane Barlilla Swatantra. So today, if we are enjoying the fruits of freedom, it is because of the sacrifices of so many people. So every moment, every word that you spoke made us feel proud to be what we are today, and bow down to the sacrifices of the great men and women who have laid their lives for our better tomorrows. So thank you so much for your time and effort, and we look forward to have such interactions, many more in future days to come, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So viewers, this was MyBHARAT's first day evening lecture series. So there are many more topics that are being lined up. So I request you all to please catch up with us. This, as you all know, has been going live on our YouTube channel, Disha Bharat. Again, tomorrow, we have a wonderful speaker who would be speaking on the topic Bharat's Unwavering Courage Journey from Slavery to Swaraj. I'm sure you all are very excited. So please spread this message to many more people. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel and reach us back for many more such contents. Let's meet again tomorrow evening. Till then, Dhanyavad. Vande Mataram.